Hi and welcome back. This is our second video on the channel, so I do appreciate you if you have come back to us. If you're new, my name's Cole. I work full-time and I have a part-time small business that I run, potentially call it side hustle. The very first video we spoke about how to manage your time, give a bit of an indication of how I manage my time as a family man, work full-time, and I have this obviously side hustle, this business, adding YouTube to the mix as well. So there's always time in the day. If you're looking for a bit of inspiration, how do you manage your day and get your jobs done, follow this video, have a look, and I'll be happy to hear any feedback. So today's video, we're going to be looking at ways that you can source your items for a reselling business. So we're mainly going to be looking at reselling to start off with. I know we're going to be discussing other ways that you can earn money on a side hustle, but today we're going to be mainly looking at reselling. Reselling is probably the easiest business to start up. There's no like high startup costs. Potentially you can start with nothing, which what we're going to go into is how to source items. But yeah, let's get into it. This is how you can potentially start your reselling business, and let's look at a way that you can source items for. When we look at these tips, I'm going to look at pros and cons for you as well. If there's any pros or cons that you think I've missed or would be beneficial to add to the list, please let us know in the comments and we can add those and we can share them. We are a community all trying to learn, grow and learn. Number one is utilize items in your house. So this is obviously a very simple way to start your business. So let's start with the pros for that. So you already own the item. So the item already belongs to you. You don't have to go out and source it. There's no cost involved. That cost was paid when you purchased the item. Obviously, you've probably got the monies back now because you've worn the item and utilized it and enjoyed it. So yeah, pro number one for that is, well, you already got it. And I'm sure if you look around in your drawers or in your wardrobes, even in the very bottom of your washing basket, please do wash it first. I'm sure there's items there that you no longer use. Maybe you don't fit in it anymore. You might have put on weight, you might have lost weight. It just might not be your style anymore. Certainly have a look, see what you can grab. So another pro of that is, like we mentioned, you don't have to leave the house. The items are already here. Other ways to source, which we'll go into, where you potentially do have to leave the house or you do have to put more time and effort into it. This one is very effortless. It's just a case of digging through your wardrobe and, like we mentioned, digging through your washing basket, maybe digging through your partner's or your kids' wardrobes and maybe have a little sneak peek. But please don't sell anything without their consent. Along with that, pro number three is that obviously if we are selling these items, well, it declutters your wardrobe. We're all guilty of holding on to items and clothing that, we think, well, we're going to utilize this summer or next summer, or we'll wear it in the winter. Oh, that's a good shirt. I will wear that at some point. And before you know it, a year's passed and you haven't wore it, and then you have the same conversation again, and that just carries on and carries on. So you can help declutter that, and you can make some money from it at the same time. So declutter your wardrobe, which declutters your mind, frees your mind up to be more motivated and enthusiastic to start your own reselling business. Right, so let's look at some cons, because believe it or not, there is cons of selling items that, even those pros were great, there's some cons involved as well. One of the cons is emotional attachment. So basically, we do get attached to things, items of clothing, that might have some nostalgia. Maybe your favorite shirt from a night out when you met your current wife or partner, be anything like that. We all have different emotional attachments. You might not want to let go, but sometimes letting go and starting fresh, not only is the positive you're making money from it, but it is starting a new chapter of your life. So if you feel that you're not wearing it and you can let go of that item when you really think about it, then that could be a con for some. Not everybody. Some people can be emotionally detached from clothing because it's just items that you wear. Another con is limited to your size and your style. So basically reselling, eventually you will gain the knowledge and what sells and what's trending, that type of thing. And size, it's not just the actual style, it's the size. For example, if you're a bit like myself, I'm a small. Smalls are difficult to sell online. It's not the most sought after size. You're talking more like medium, large, and large to extra large, which is the more sought after sizes. If you're a small, then you might have less value in that item than you would if it was a large. And your style might not be very stylish. Same here, using myself as an example, probably not the most stylish person. So, what I find stylish and trendy. It might not be on trend right now, but the only way you'll learn that is by experimenting and trying. So it is a pro and it's a con, because the pro is that you will learn eventually, but the con at the minute is when you're just utilizing your own clothing, then you're stuck with your style and your size. And just moving on from that, the third con is because not all of us find value in clothing, or not all of us, well, we do find value in clothing because it keeps us from getting arrested if we walk around with no clothing. But in the sense of they don't find value in the brands and what's styling and so on. So if you're that type of person, you might find that when you look in your wardrobe, clothing's not your priority. It might be your car or your house, or making sure your family, your bills are paid, etc. But if you have got that extra expense, then you might have some designer brands. But I believe a lot of us will have things like Primark, Shein, and the supermarket brands like George, TU, and that type of thing, which is very little resale value. So those type of items, if you do want to get rid of, you might want to bulk them up and sell them in a bulk of tops or clothing, or you just might want to donate them and donate them to a charity, that type of thing, if you do want to declutter. But in regards to reselling, amount of time and effort you put into picturing and putting onto your online platforms, you'll probably stay away from putting Primark and Shein and those type of brands on there, because there's no resale value.